What we're trying to do, Mr. Collins, with the Bampton archives is there's so many people in Bampton with such a story to tell, and they've played such a big part in the community. Like, because you realise it's 70 years this year that you came to Bampton.
Is it?
1943, that you came up and brought us up here to Bampton. So you've got a lot to tell about Bampton, about farming. And so we want to tap into it, and I will talk to you as we go along and probably give you ideas. And between us, I think we're going to have a lovely story to tell Bampton people.
Before you were born.
Absolutely, absolutely. So starting with you, Mr. Collins, when did you actually first come into farming, and what got you into farming?
When I started farming, my father gave all his sons, or three of them, farms, and he knew the war was coming, in 1939 and things like that. So he gave his father notice. I was quite young, just come back from school.
Really?
So they took a little farm at Rickford for me.
That's the first I remember you, is at Rickford?
Yeah.
This is in Somerset?
That's right. So father retired and came looked after the house. I was this little boy running around a small herd of cattle, kind of.
Did you? So you milked in those days?
Yeah.
Did you really?
Yeah. And that's why I was that sniffing.
That's nice, right?
I just got fed up with milking cows, so I thought I'd come up. The farms were set up here. So I came up one day and, my petrol was short and just got here before the auction in Whitney.
Right.
I just saw the house. I always said not too bad. I never saw the land. And I was the second one, put my hand up. And they said, "That's yours."
And that's what brought you to Weald Farm?
Yeah. And I think my wife thought 100 miles away from her friends, it wasn't very popular.
You were doing a little bit of farming. You were doing milking at Rickford then.
Yes.
Because I remember that you had a tractor that was basically a car.
Yeah.
Can you tell us anything about that?
Well, I bought wheels for it. There was a car made up for the sweeping the corn.
That's right.
The hay in it and everything else. Now, I couldn't afford a tractor in those days. Not really.
So you converted a car?
Yes. But then I came up to wheels, and it was, what was it? Horses here, I think. Yes, horses.
That's right, because Fred Beachy was the carter.
That's right. I remember an aunt of my wife, and when I said that Fred's gone on holiday. Fred on holiday, he's never been out of Bampton. It was true. He'd never been out of Bampton, so. Because people didn't move very far, do they?
I remember
in those days.
I remember the lovely story, Mr. Collins, when you bought Fred his first tractor. There was a baby Ford.
You mean Arthur?
You bought... No, Fred Beachy. Arthur had his.
Yeah.
Arthur Hayes. Because that's something else I want to ask you about in a moment. But just to deal with Fred Beachy, you bought him a baby Fordson tractor. He was in control of all your horses, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And then you bought him a tractor, and he learned to drive a baby Fordson tractor.
Yeah.
And he was going through your cow yard, and he wanted the tractor to stop, and he shouted at it, "Whoa!" And of course the tractor didn't stop. It hit into a treacle barrel. As we're on the tractor theme, Mr. Collins, you bought in the war an Oliver 80 for Art Hayes to drive. Now, was that part of the government scheme? Because it was an American tractor. How did you come with an American tractor?
Because I think it was Leeds and End, wasn't it? Leeds and End.
Oh, of course it was. Yeah.
And, I bought a baler, a proper baler.
Yeah.
On that same thing, And, it was Americans' idea to get Britain back on
its feet again.
That's right.
Well, I never. So that's the Oliver 80 was part of the lease and lend scheme by. Cause the Ministry of Ag did a lot in those days of farm improvements, etc., didn't they?
Oh yes.
Were they like today? We find
You're splashing it. Those people, some of them were broken down farmers, telling us what to do.
That's just what I was going to come to. Today, I mean, I'm out of farming now, but today, I know my brother is still in farming. You get these people come and interfere with you, and they're from the ministry. They say they're helping, but they make things a damn sight worse because they don't know. And you're saying exactly the same thing then, that the war ag was a pain in the backside.
Yes. So all government things are a pain in the backside, don't they? Ordinary
Oh,
people,
absolutely.
They go to college and they think they can run the bloody country.
Yeah.
In my day, every minister had to know about the subject that they were putting, but not today.
No.
Come out of college and run the country.
Yeah, as long as they've got a degree in something or other, it could be sociology, they can come and run the farms, so they think. So when you came to Bampton, and you just said you gave up milking, and yet you came to a herd in Bampton.
Well, that's because I bought the farm as an arable farm,
right?
Which I wanted. But then after 6 weeks, we had a notice requisition about 300 acres of green farm.
Of course, the signal camp.
Then I had to put it down to grass. We could use cattle. So that's the start of my dairying back in those days into Bampton. So we had a herd then, had to get a herd together. And it kept them until last year, was that?
Yeah, and it's only recently that your herd is finished. Yours was the last herd, or Simon's was it still, as far as I'm concerned, it's Mr. Collins's. Your herd was the last herd to produce milk in Bampton.
Yeah.
And so you'd gone from 1943 right up to now. Going back to the signal camp, Mr. Collins, they started building about 1939 or so, didn't they, the signal camp?
Anyway, in 1943, when I built the farm, apparently the war had been round. I think the locals knew there was something happening. But they didn't disclose that at the sale, and I didn't.
Ooh, naughty!
I didn't know anything about it, so I came up and bought it. I was a sucker then, because they knew more than I did.
Oh, local knowledge.
They didn't disclose it. So I tried to go to the solicitors to find out could I claim anything. They said the War Office can do just what they like. They got to tell the owner, the late owner, which they had done, but no one else. So that's the Oxfordshire.
Oh, that was naughty.
Well, that's war.
Yeah. It was a Mr. Butt, wasn't it, that had it before you. So I remember the actual, what you and I call A-Way Lane, the lane leading up to Signal Camp. That was a mud track when we come, wasn't it?
Yeah, and actually just about 10 yards up, it was a real bog, had a job to get through.
Really?
So muddy, because tractors, again, made a mess of those sort of lanes.
Yeah. But the horses weren't so bad.
Horses weren't too bad, see, but tractors were just probably.
How many horses did you start farming with then?
Back.
It wheeled. How many
At
horses?
Weald.
Yeah, how many horses were there
Just
when you
one-
came?
But only about 3 or 4.
Oh, it wasn't an enormous amount then.
I mean, Fred was
Yeah.
set.
Fred Beachy.
And we had one tractor that was Arthur.
And that was an international, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was an old 1020, an international 1020.
Yeah.
Yes, I remember that one.
What age were you then?
I was 6. I was 6 when he brought us up here. Yeah. Yeah. I was. It was
I think, Terry, he wasn't very keen on that, was he?
Terry is 3 years older than me. So if I was 6, he would have been 9 when we
Yes.
came.
He says to me one day, "Oh, you ruined my father." I said, "What?" I mean, just, he wanted to come as much as I did.
Yeah, yeah. Now that was another thing. Talking about vehicles, you had a lorry up
Yeah,
here,
right.
an Austin 20 engine lorry, because it had the choke and all the controls on the steering column to advance the firing, and you used that to haul sugar beet to Bampton railway station,
Yes.
didn't you?
Yes.
So, and
Years ago.
yeah, well, another interesting thing, of course, that made you unique in Bampton was the German prisoners of war, because you had accommodation for them, because they were right next to where we lived.
Yeah.
Well, I don't remember any other farm in Bampton accommodating German prisoners of war.
We had Italians first.
That's right.
And they were a waste of time. They were horrible. Then the Germans came. Everything was fine. Everything was
Yeah.
They really worked. They were fine.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, they were good, because when Dad bought his farm, took over the home farm, Willie Jasper, one of the Germans, actually helped Dad at night dig the trench to put the water. They were very good, kind people.
Yeah.
And it was when I was living at Weald Farm Cottage, when Dad worked for you, and the Germans were there, you learnt that the German people were not the people who caused the war. It was Hitler and his SS types. The actual German people were nice people, weren't they?
Yeah, the Germans were all right. I think Italians, but they were just lazy.
Lazy. Absolutely.
Lazy as hell.
So did you go for a pedigree herd or not? I remember 2 of your bulls
Because when I started farming proper, about 1920, 29 or something. Anyway, when I left school anyway, my father took from the main farm some cattle. They were all tested free of tested, but we were the first ones in Somerset to produce TT milk.
Really?
And I used to take it down to Western Supermare in a trailer at the back of my car every morning.
Well, I never.
And I think we used to get a shilling a gallon in those days. And so when the board took it over, they were giving threepence a gallon.
Yeah. They controlled the price completely, didn't they?
Completely. And so I went TT.
Well, I never. So then when you come to your herd at Bampton at Weald, that was not TT to start with, was it? Because I remember you got yourself clear TB up here because we bought a cow from you that had TB, but she was pregnant with twins.
Yeah.
But you had a good bull. You had a bull called Elmwood Epicure. So would that be from Jenkinson's farm, would it?
Yeah.
And then another bull you had, and I don't know where that one come from, called Edgarly Baricus. So where would Edgarly herd be from? Were they... Mr. Smart's was his Edgarly?
Who?
Sidney Smart was his Edgarly?
No, I don't think so. Not so. They didn't have TT things. I don't know, it's picked up off it in the market perhaps,
Yeah.
or a sale.
Yeah.
But I know I bought one, several of the Jenkins's herd
Yeah.
when they sold part of the herd.
Because you certainly was a big milk producer of the time, weren't you?
I suppose. Yes.
One of the bigger farms around here for milk production.
Yeah. I didn't mean to because I was forced.
Another fascinating thing, Mr. Collins, was as I said, that there was the lovely converted lorry that you had for transport, but also when you had your first ricks thrashed here in Bampton, it was the old steam engine that came along, Wilcox and Frost.
Yeah, Wilcox and Frost. Was it? He was quite a big chap. Fred, was it?
No. Oh, David Hunt.
Was it?
He used to live by the George and Dragon, and he was you said a big man, and he was the main driver of the steam engine.
Yeah. We would go round the farm,
That's right.
field to field.
Yeah.
Couldn't do that today, could we?
But wasn't that a risk of having a steam engine with all the fire and that around with all the straw? I think health and safety today would ban it.
And we had a fire once, didn't we?
I don't remember that.
Yeah. I remember driving down the lane from Lee. We looked down that lane, and I could see something starting with fire because they were in. The lane turns right down the bottom.
Yeah.
And it was quite a big field.
Down past your milking parlour, it used to be.
Yeah, but past that and down near the college land.
Yeah.
And I seen it. I drove fast as I could. And when I got there, of course, it was taking over the whole thrashing and the machinery. And it went across the fields like a lightning, right up. So I turned around and went up and back to the glass and the thing and back.
You drove all the way back to the town hall to ring the fire brigade?
Yeah, fire brigade.
My goodness. In the war, all sorts of different things. Now, believe it or not, I have written about this, the first job that I ever did, and it was my father employed me to work for you, and I was 8 years of age, and you grew, I think it was linseed. There was a small field just underneath the signal camp, and I had to go out there gathering the poppies, because it was before sprays and that. Is there any odd types of crops that you grew in the war?
Yeah, I grew sugar, red beet,
Oh, the mangoes?
Red
beet?
For human consumption.
Did you?
Yeah. Was it?
Yeah, beetroot. Beetroot, yeah.
And I used to sell it to Hicks in Oxfordshire.
Yeah, I remember them.
Yeah, yes.
And potatoes you did.
Those potatoes, yeah.
Because I remember helping plant the potatoes with Arthur Hayes and the Oliver 80 row crop tractor, and it had a thing fitted to the plough, and you sit on a seat and put the potatoes in as it went on.
And the manure. And young Arthur, remember?
Fump, as we call him, yeah.
He was there dropping manure, of course, being heavy, dropped potash down the thing, a head of a lot. And of course, a very poor land there by that cover. And of course, we had a head of a crop.
So you did it again the next year?
We thought we were silly old fool. We used all that potash. Of course, it was just right. Not that he thought.
It's an ill wind that blows no good at all, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that was linseed. You were one of the first people to grow linseed. Because I remember in your barns, you had a mill on the ground floor and the loft above, and you used to put the linseed and the corn and all that for grinding in the loft.
Yeah.
And one of my jobs was shoveling, and linseed is so beautiful, to take your shoes and socks off and let the linseed come between your toes. It was cool. It was
The world has changed.
hasn't it just? So, and potatoes, Did you do any other crops for human consumption? So we've covered beetroot, sugar beet, of course, because you did a lot of that.
Yeah. I don't think I grew anything.
Not cabbage brassicas or anything like that.
I don't think I did. Not,
no, I can't remember.
No, I don't think so. I tried to bring it all down for a combine to use.
Yeah. Oh, obviously, yeah, for the labour. Because I mean, when we were working for you, there was so many. I mean, there was 2 prisoners of war regular, and then at peak times, hoeing times, you'd have a lorry load of prisoners of war come with an English guard in the back with a gun, and about 20. Well, they could have lynched him and got the lorry away so easy. But they would come and work for you. So you terrific employment base you had. You know, and there was
stationed as it knew. When just before you get to Whitney, there's some buildings there with the road going to
at Curbridge.
Curbridge, that's where prisoners were.
Oh, right.
Where exactly is that?
You
know Curbridge Crossroads?
Just past the Lord Kitchener.
Just
or
past the Lord Kitchener.
Yes.
You turn the bend at Lord Kitchener on, and there was like a big hut, a wooden hut, just over the side of the cross. So where was the Land Army then, Mr. Collins? Because you had land girls working for you as well. Where were they based?
Oh, I think they were based either in Oxford or in around that area somewhere. I don't know whether we only had them once or twice, but because also he said, "Oh, one good man be better than all those girls."
Because one girl you had was called Jean Sharp, and she was billeted with Ernie Parker, and she worked for you quite a bit. But I can't remember whether she did dairying or just former. She helped in the dairy.
Yes, she helped in milking cows now.
Yeah. So you really, when you think about it, the number of people that, if there was a register of all the people that worked for you, Mr. Collins, it'd be a big one.
Everybody in the village, I mean, Ernie Buckingham, I say, well, we want about 10 because half is our haymaking. And he says, give them a whistle, they're okay.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, the Buckingham family alone, there was a lot of them, and what with brother-in-laws, etc. Because Harrison, Joyce's husband, he used to work for you on a casual basis.
But they were all willing to come in those days, not today.
Yeah. Oh no, absolutely. But wasn't it lovely? Because I remember that at 5 o'clock you stopped for a tea break, and all the wives would come with the bottles of tea, and everybody would sit down and you'd have a chat. And then, because on Harry Pocock's thrashing outfit was, who did Harry Owens marry? He married a land girl, and she was part of the outfits that would come round thrashing. It was, farming did supply a lot of work.
Yeah. Because, it's changed, hasn't it?
Yeah.
My mother, who was over 90, I think she's nearly towards the end, about 90, she lived to 97, age, I mean, and she said once, "What's this I've got from the government?" I said, "That's old age pension just come through. That's just started."
No! Well, she's in her 80s.
She was in her 90s. And she said, "What's this for? I don't want this." And now we're going through, we're all going to nothing, I think.
Yeah.
That's starting and finishing, I think, in my lifetime.
Yeah. It is terrific. The what has happened in the world in your lifespan is unbelievable. because you would have gone to church probably, I'd have gone to school probably on a horseback or something. I know my mother, because my mother was just a little bit older than you, she went to school on a donkey cart.
Yeah.
And now you've had men walking on the moon and doing all sorts.
Yeah.
It's a really fascinating era that
I mean,
you've covered.
I don't think there's ever been so much change as has been in my lifetime.
Yeah.
Because it's from horses and tracks and things like that.
Yeah.
Right up now, there's nearly airplanes now.
Yeah. And our diets, of course, because were you ever plagued by poachers after rabbits, or did you turn a blind eye to it? What was your attitude to?
Well, I think most people, like Ernie Buckingham and people, they took it as a right.
Yeah, a perk.
Yeah. They did.
That's right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. No, I never shot them, anything like that. No.
You had horses, and I do know that you did have a hunter horse.
Yes, that's right.
Was she called Duchess or something like that?
Wheel bypass.
Boom. That's
Wheel
right.
bypass.
Now then, did you hunt her? Did you race her? What did you do with her?
I bought it from the Jenkinsons because I think they thought I was a brother of mine who was a proper horseman.
Oh, right.
He wanted to go cup to Cheltenham. And anyway, so they sold it to me. I said, okay, I'll have it. And that was in the war. So we went round the farm a bit in a few years, and then finished. When the war finished, I hunted it.
Right, yeah.
And I didn't really have time for hunting in those days. We were trying to keep life going.
Yeah.
Then I entered it in points. And there was a girl who was riding it for me, lived at Honours.
Oh yeah.
And
part of the Jenkinson
she
family.
came second in both was second into our hunt, Obart's. Second into, several of the huntsmen came second. Then Gregory Phillips, who was in the war, he came back and he said, do you want to sell that horse of yours? I said, why? He says, if I put a man out there, I could win with that horse. So we had a deal, and he bought it. And the first race it was down at Loch Hill. I owned it then, but I had already sold it. But I raced it in my name.
Right.
And it won by a field. Right in front of the way.
Well, I never. Brilliant.
Then he took it into big racing in such as Stratford and things like that. He won once or twice.
And was that the end of your horse racing days? Did you bother with the horse racing world, or that was it? Once was enough.
Yeah. Well, I did a bit. It's in the hall. You'll see that when the Baxters were here.
Oh right. Yeah.
They lent me a horse too. Because they thought he doesn't know anything about horses, so.
See, that's another area of your life which I have found fascinating, is your social life, the people that you have socialised with, because a wonderful character that I remember was Timber Woods.
Oh yes.
What a fantastic man he was.
Oh yeah, I used to go with him up to Norfolk. I took a sheep farm up there.
Right.
And he used to fly me up. And once.
So what, you would drive out to Blackborton, get in his plane and go up?
Yeah, I mean, I said to him, I'd like to go up to Norfolk if you've got time. He said, okay. Then that morning, they rang up from Norfolk and said, you can't come here. It's all folk right in, sounds right on the floor. You can't come. And I said to Tim Berry, we used to call him, he said, oh, just right, nobody would be in the air. I'd be on my own.
So still then?
So he went, and then when he got there, he said, well, you know the place, where is it? I said, I can't see it. So he flew then to the, what's that place, when the water starts, the sea.
In the wash.
Oh, in the wash.
Wash.
Yeah.
So he drove to the wash, and he came down on the railway line, right down low, and we read the stations all the way.
Fantastic.
No sat nav in them days.
Then we got to Thetford, which was where it was. I said, "Can you find a place?" Well, I think I can see something down there, maybe a few sheep there. But anyway, we landed there. And as soon as we landed, then the Air Force from some Cambridge or Americans, all the big bosses came and said, "What are you doing? Get me out!"
Was that Mildenhall?
He was a real swashbuckling character, wasn't
Yeah,
he?
he was.
Amazing. Then we were talking about different foods. I remember once having to help out that because he founded the Aylesbury mushroom farm, and he persuaded you to have a go at mushrooms. I remember but it never took off. I don't know quite what we were doing wrong, but
Not watering it enough.
oh, was that what it was?
Right across the fields, and we didn't take it seriously as well. No, but we had McLean's, the toothpaste people bought Elmwood.
That's right. I remember that.
And we used to know them quite well. And Timber he was Aylesbury then. He started mushrooms before he joined the war.
Oh, did he? Oh, I didn't realise it went back as long as that. I thought it was something he took up after he come out of the war.
Well, you see, his family were in Ireland.
Right.
And the IRA, they collared the family and stopped all things coming there and told them they had to blow up a bridge. And they didn't do it then. And then they came back again. They lined them all against the wall and were going to shoot them all. So that night, they all got in a boat and we came to England, to Aylesbury.
Well, the Woods family.
The whole family.
Did they really?
And then he started growing mushrooms because.
Do you know, I often wondered why it was called the Aylesbury mushrooms, and that's what it was. They started in Aylesbury and then they come to Blackburn.
Yeah. Then because I was saying I knew the McLeans quite well.
Yeah.
And they were talking about things, and I said, I know someone who would buy your farm. And he said, who's that? Oh, I said, somebody with an airplane who is in the war. What's in the war? Oh. Anyway, when it came to, I said, I think he only got 17,000. I said, you have to let him have it. Oh, he loves airplanes. Yes, I'll let him have it.
I never.
17,000.
And that's what brought timber to Blackburn.
And I said to him years afterwards, I said, I should have bought that, because it was very cheap. He said, why didn't you then? I got it for him.
Yeah. Well, I never. See, when you think the number of people that he employed at the peak of his mushroom production, a lot of people from Bampton worked there.
Yeah. I don't know why Frank gave it up. Frank.
No, I don't think that Frank had the ability that his dad had.
No. I mean, he really worked hard. But he did. I mean, he was making quite a lot of money from it. I can't make it right.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's a terrific success.
He sent his son to America to a mushroom farm for him to learn it properly. Watching your father not always the best thing.
No, that's true.
So,
that's very true. But see, there again, we were talking earlier on how how farming has changed and how things have gone to pot really. But in the days of Timber doing the mushrooms, there was a chap from Aylesbury, I think, went that way with an enormous lorry that would go around all the stables picking up the horse manure and shipping horse manure into the mushroom farm.
Yeah.
Nowadays, you've got to pay people to take the muck away.
Yeah. And the cattle.
Yeah.
And I mean, all these lambs are being.
Oh.
Now, the farmers got to get permission to take them away.
Yeah.
And dig them.
Yeah. We would call out the knacker man or the hunt.
Hunting.
And it was recycling.
Yeah.
It was recycling. But it's gone all to pot now.
I did say in those days, when farming was right down low, I said, Scargo, remember Scargo?
Yeah.
I said, we want him in the NFU.
Yeah, absolutely. Now another aspect of your life that I enjoyed was during the war, you were a member of the Home Guard.
Oh, yes.
I like your facial expression then.
I used to go on the Mendips and be,
Oh, of course you were, with the searchlights on the Mendips. So that's where you would have met Dad
We
then.
had one at Wickford Farm.
Did you?
Yeah.
What a searchlight.
Searchlights,
To get the bombers in the skies. So my first recollection was it Major Webb or Captain Webb? Who lived on Weald Corner there?
Oh,
Webb, what was his rank?
Captain,
He was a Captain Webb.
yeah. I know your father went to him one day about something, and he said, Mr. Webb.
Oh, he did he?
Excuse me. I'm Captain Webb. Real army days.
Yeah. Because on your land they did the manoeuvres. I remember seeing all the Home Guard with makeshift rifles, and those things they put in crackers, Christmas crackers. They were strapped to the gun, and they used to pull them to make them go bang. And that was the. So where was that local Home Guard base then? Did you meet in Bampton and do your?
I mean, the town hall.
All right. And how many of you?
I mean, a lot of people from Bampton. And Curbridge and around that. But I hardly remember it all then. But I know one night I was on duty at the town hall, and I heard a lot of buzzing going on, and I came off duty and I saw the CO was down at the camp. He said, my God, he said, all gone wrong. That was they picking up the gliders who were at Hobbs's, along the Letchley Road.
Yeah.
The field was full of them. And that night they'd take all those pilots, all those, they put the gliders.
Yeah. There's the gliders.
Full of things and putting them. And apparently the Germans were all waiting for them because there's so much talk in those days.
Yeah, I would think those probably are. They
They came over Bampton Town Hall, and the CO told me next morning,
They're not a copter.
he said, that's gone wrong.
Oh dear.
Poor devils.
Yeah.
It was bang, bang.
So there was the Nissen Hut at Low. I know Dad had done some duty up there with Pecker Bird and that lot. Is the Home Guard. But where else was there places that you would meet? I know at Bridge Street, Bampton, there was big concrete things they were going to have to roll into the road to stop it. And I know down your fields, or a bit beyond your land, on the river, there was those little gun turret things.
I had one field down by the Thames.
Right.
But I sold it in the end to that chap that we used to call him the lawyer lawyer or something, and it was all talk and things like that.
Oh,
Anyway,
right, yeah.
I sowed that field away because it's not in the farm.
Right,
It was
yeah.
mine. I suppose it was bought because water for the farm. When
Oh, of
things-
course, yeah.
In those days, you
Yeah.
had to supply the water.
Yeah,
didn't
you could pump it from there.
And Stuart Woods, I said, you know, he was the test pilot for Spitfires.
Yeah. Am I right in thinking, Mr. Collins, that he was there was 3 airplanes that saved Malta,
Yeah.
and didn't he pilot one of them? They're Faith, Hope and Charity, and I got a feeling I've seen Timber's name mentioned over the island of Malta.
Yeah.
And that he did indeed. They then got Spitfires to go out there to help, and he was also with the Spitfires.
Yeah. I mean, when he was at Brighton, it was Spitfires he was doing then. He was
So
test pilot.
the Spitfires that brought him into this area in the first place. Then, when did you first meet Timber?
Oh, met him because his daughter was the same age as Celia's daughter.
Oh, right. No,
No,
it'd
it was
be
Celia
Celia.
herself.
It'd be Celia, yeah.
Yeah, and Knapp's farm, you know, they had a farm, and they were sort of billeted there.
Oh, right.
And then he used to go down, help with the harvest with the
That's how you met him.
not the Wilmer, yes, the Wilmers. He
Yeah.
used to go because he was a farmer's son, so he went down early.
Oh,
with him.
right.
And then we met him there, and then we've always was
See,
friendly.
I was talking earlier on about your circle of friends. When you think about it, John Wilmer. Well, you would have known his dad, Richard.
Yeah.
Is Richard Wilmer one? His dad?
I forget his
Or is it?
anyway,
Yeah, Richard.
But,
R.N. Wilmer. That's right, Richard.
yes, when we came up here first, we met Harold Jenkinson in the blacksmith shop down at Canfield.
Oh yeah, Mr. Hicks.
Yeah,
Mr. Hicks.
yeah. We met him there, and then he asked us out for tea or something. And then we met the Wilmers. And then Harry Wallace, who was dead now, he was hunting, and the hunting people came out. Who bought Weald Farm then? They called him with that chapel lot.
They didn't reckon you were a chapel, did they?
Huh?
They thought you were a chapel.
Yes, they thought I was chapel.
Oh dear. Oh dear. My father didn't have that much influence over you, did he?
I used to go to the church. If he'd do anything naughty, he always said, "Oh, I'll go to church and they'll forgive me."
Well, that's the way it's supposed to work, you see. Yeah,
He believed in that.
oh yeah.
He didn't. It wasn't a make-up. He would say, "Oh, I'll ask God to forgive me. I'll go to church."
Oh, lovely.
Easy done. So the Jenkinsons, the Jenkinsons, they had the world record milk producing cow.
Yeah.
So and then that's obviously why you bought some of their
Yes.
stock, because it was such good stock. So you got the Wilmers, you got the Jenkinsons, and that you mentioned Wallace's. So you were in with, who would that be? Brian Wallace's dad, was it, or Brian Wallace's granddad?
Oh, I suppose his granddad, I suppose. Anyway, he was a very nice chap, Harry was. And his father had a nice little tiny beard. He was very nice too.
What was Bowden's like? Mr. Bowden. That used
Oh,
to,
Bowden, who
he was a miserable bloke, I always thought.
he was a real farmer, real tough guy. Anyway, I was down. I think I bought a rick from him, hay or straw, just opposite their house.
The lane.
Where is that?
Marsh Lane.
And I got stuck, and he was hauling manure from the farm up the road into that land and whatnot. You know, but 3 or 4 goes, you know, they're all back and forwards taking it up. And I said to Mr. Bowden, "Oh, I'm too busy. If
You
get
did
stuck,
it?
if you got stuck, you better get unstuck."
So you never asked him again?
Nobody just said no, full stop. You know,
Unbelievable.
People were a bit like that
Yeah,
years ago.
yeah. So, who introduced your sister-in-law to Mr. Smart then?
We did.
Did you?
We introduced Isabel's sister,
Yeah.
Pam, who's alive still, but she was in the army on a motorbike to, be dispatched by her.
Right, yeah.
And then she thought that her parents were retired then. They were living in Western-super-Mare, and she said they were a bit dull, so she was asked to come up here. Of course, met Sydney at one of the parties. That was it.
I lovely stories, that is. Brilliant. Yeah, then of course, Douglas Hurd married into the Smart family. So did that make you even more of a conservative than you were, or not?
I don't know if I'm anything. I think conservatives been very naughty up to now. They're not strong enough.
Well, absolutely.
Cameron's wonderful debater.
Yeah.
You can't beat him in the House of Commons for that. But he doesn't follow through. He hasn't got the courage like Maggie.
Yeah. I mean, Maggie's just died yesterday, and that was a leader. Love her or hate her, she was a person. She put Britain first, and she made Britain great again. And it's going to be a long time for that. So then charity stuff. Have you ever been involved in charity stuff locally at all, or?
No, my charity starts at home.
Good man.
And family.
Good man. Yeah, that's my feeling.
I can't bother with.
And that
never gets to the right people.
Well, that's why I say we're talking about Cameron. All these millions he's given to India, or buying airplanes from China, whatever it is. A charity begin. If we put our houses in order and look after our area,
of course
then we're in a better position to help others. But if you're not in a strong position, you can't help
now
others.
he's going to make it a law. 0.7 is they're going to give to charity.
That's right. Yeah.
Then the Indians say, "Oh, we don't want bloody planes. We have the ones from France."
Yeah.
So it doesn't pay. They don't appreciate it, do they?
Mr. Collins, can I ask you a question? Tell me, forget it or whatever. How old are you?
I'm 98 this year.
You are unbelievable.
Absolutely fantastic.
Because we've covered from the 1920s. We've talked about everything from the 1920s through, and your brain, if you're switched on, you can remember funny events like being in a Stuart Woods in an air. See, because that's what killed him in the end, was his cavalier attitude.
Well, he was very kind. Always went to help people. He won the King's Cup twice, I think. He won it again at just off 70, I think, 69, I think. And he was at the place where they train, and he was hanging about there, and he met I think, Canadian couple. And they said, "Oh, we hear that you're marvellous on your turns on the weather comes so quick." And he said, "I wish you would teach us how to do it." And so Timber said, "All right then, I'll go up, you can follow me." So they went up, we followed each other. And I think one of the Coens, he turned sharp because the other one hadn't got there, He was coming up, he was coming right on the way.
Yeah.
He caught the wing. That was it.
Yeah, so we are... Jan, have you got anything you feel you'd like to ask Mr. Collins?
No, I'm just wondering, during the war and the
Yeah.
Ministry of Agriculture, how much did they interfere with what you were doing, the inspectors, or what you were allowed to grow?
And not so bad as they are today. Simon says, if all around you've got to put down how much wind's blowing, was it raining, or what time of day was it, what was that? He said, the people down in Wiltshire, He said, they don't try to remember. Oh, well, we did it. No, you've got to tell me the truth. And because he doesn't get anyone to do it for him, so he's got to do it. But he said, they come all dressed up in posh cars and walk about, doing nothing but just taking money from the treasury.
Well, we interviewed Robert, your manager
Robert,
at the Glebe Farm there, and he was telling me that even the fertilising machines have to be calibrated every year and inspected. It's jobs for the boys, isn't it? That's what you and I were talking off camera earlier on. It's everybody's looking after themselves and creating work.
Creating empire.
Yeah.
And they have secretaries and everything else. It's terrible. But they're more interfering now than they were in my day.
Yeah.
They really interfere. You lose your subsidy if you do something wrong.
That's right, yeah. Mind you, it was a bit like that in the 1970s when the EEC came in and was pumping money into farming. Very often, they say, well, right, you want to build a new milking parlour, so you're going to build a new milking parlour. And you would get a quote to build a milking parlour in the way you wanted it done. And they say, yeah, but we'll give you £1/3,000.
Yeah.
But you've got to do it this way.
Yeah.
But then they put the cost up higher than if you'd have got it done the other way anyway.
Yeah.
You know, they make you spend money totally unnecessary. And I remember after Colin and I sold the farm, I went taxi driving. And I love to talk to foreigners during the Heathrow runs. Yeah. And I love to talk to foreigners about their feelings about the EEC. And I picked up some Irish businessmen from Birmingham Airport to bring them to the prosthetic limbs place at Abingdon, where they make these artificial limbs. And I said, what's the feeling about the EEC in Ireland? Oh, it's the best thing that's ever happened, because it was Southern Ireland. And it turned out they pump money into a country like nobody's business. Like, we're going to have Bulgaria come in, we're going to have Romanian. The EEC will pump money in, then the civilians, the people, the population get used to this, having money thrown at them. They lose the ability to work, and now you've got Greece, Spain, Cyprus, all in trouble because they've had money thrown at them instead of earning it.
And they'll have throw money at Britain too. You give it away. They forget that we owe quite a lot of money, don't we?
Oh, absolutely. And this is the wrong way to go about it. You've got to have money in your pocket, then you spend it, you know how much you're spending. Mr. Collins, thank you very, very much. You've given us an hour of your valuable time. It has been a wonderful experience for us, and I'm sure that people will feel the same.
When I took over Gore Cross, because the army went pinching my land, so I would pinch one of their farms. And when I took over Gore Cross, there were 24 horses, cart horses, in that farm.
Was there?
Yeah.
24?
24, that was in 1950s, was it? Yes, 1951, I think. And,
that's right. We'd left you by then, because we left you in 48.
Yeah. I think called Mr. Maggs, he wanted to retire, and I managed to pinch that farm. And that was a rented farm because, they didn't sell farms like war office. They could help it.
So you had lots of... did you take that as a personal thing? Because obviously it seems to me that your life in farming has been battle against the ministry.
Yeah.
Because when you come to Weald, obviously they'd done the dirty on you, and it had got claim on your land.
Yeah.
And so how often... Have you always been at war with the ministry?
I try to keep friends with them.
Ah, right.
That's the best way, isn't it?
Yeah.
But Robert, he's quite a character, isn't he?
Yes. Oh, but absolutely.
Yeah. He heard something rattling one night, he told me, out in the garden. He got up and went out, and they were pinching diesel. So he chased them up to the camp, and they went into caravan, in one of the caravans, and locked themselves in. So he said, I went up to the head man, who everyone was frightened of, because they will cut your legs off, you'll come up here. Which Smith, you remember Smith?
Yeah.
And they were afraid to go in and Vic Beckett. But he went up to, give me the keys for that. So he said, I'll come down with you. So he came down, he had these chaps out and gave them a good old beating. And he didn't care. I said, you were a bit careless there, Robert. He said, you won't be in New Zealand, no bloody black people, they push you off the pavement, give you one big touch.
Yes, he's a very good friend, but he'd be a terrible enemy, wouldn't he?
And they know it, all the gypsies don't.
They respect him.
Yeah, they don't respect him.
Yeah.
I mean, they would talk about pinching the game and things like that. They always had something to say, oh, Mr. Collins, he told us that and all that rubbish. But no one dared to go in there. He ran up his motorbike, going, really hit them over and stop dead, you know. What are you doing? You know, get off. One or two of the ladies in Bampton were friends of seniors, actually. They say, oh, that man's coming again. He said, what man? Oh, chap called Robert. They come up to you, stop dead. They were just there, really frightened them to death.
Lovely. Well, thank you very much, Mr. Collins.